So it's been working out pretty well, and I'm just growing my business to work with larger investors. Right now, I'm working with funds that do portfolio deals, so I'm able to kind of continue to get in new inventory by working with large investors. But I'm still working with individual investors, smaller investors, and residential buyers and sellers.
Love it. How about you, Marty? What do you think? Again, tell everybody how long you've been in real estate. Your role, kind of, I would say, would be good, and then your sales volume for last year, please.
Yeah, sure. Hey, I'm Marty Burnett. Like I said, I'm from Nashville, Tennessee, and I've been in real estate for just over, in between 16, 17 years. I work with my husband and a couple other team members. We do pretty much consistently around 20 million each year. And I forget the rest of the question, I guess.
No, that's perfect. Marty, do you guys have a team?
We do. We have had big teams, small teams, and then it's just been, like husband and wife team, depending on what the market's doing and where we are, over the course of our 16 to 17 years. My husband's a builder, a developer. Yeah, we've done a little bit of everything, and been with EXP about 14 months now. So
perfect. Okay, Jenny, how about you? Let us know how long you've been in real estate, kind of sales volume for last year, and your role. Are you a team leader? Just a little bit of backstory just for everybody to understand.
All right, you got it. So I have been in real estate for 5 years, at EXP for 4 years. Last year I did 15 million. I'm an individual agent. I do not have a team. I do not have an assistant. It's just me. And I focus on a lot of military and first-time buyers.
Oh, I love that. That's impressive. No assistant, no team. That's freaking awesome. I love it.
Thank you.
I would say based on that information alone, you've definitely got to live by a pretty regimented schedule. So you guys think about that, because we're going to head into that on our next question. But before we go there, Robin, how about you? How long have you been in real estate? Kind of, are you running a team? And then sales volume for last year?
Hey, I've been in real estate 7 years. I've been with EXP for just over a year, almost getting on a year and a half. And last year I did 19.7 million. I am a solo agent. I do have an assistant and a transaction coordinator, and I have a phenomenal downline that I share my my work with. Like if I can't do a showing, or if I need help on a buyer's situation. But the 19.7 is all me.
I love it. Congratulations. That's a good number. Great number.
Thank you.
All right, so I want you guys to shift your focus now that we've established your authority. You guys are Icon agents, which is an award in itself. That's a lot of production. Y'all are all doing amazing things. So to get there, it takes diligence, it takes a schedule, and it takes doing the right things in the right order. So Trent, kind of let's tell everybody, what does a daily schedule look like for you? Start your day, like what time are you getting up? Do you have a morning routine? And where do you end your day? Kind of define a perfect day for me.
Yeah, now I usually start my day like around 8 a.m. I'm usually up around the same time, like 8:30, and I get my day started. So I'm at least at my desk by 9. I usually start off with phone calls and emails, and it's mostly follow up. That's usually how most of my day is composed, is just following up with, leads, following up with investors, following up with buyers, sellers, just following up with everybody. And then just talking to new people too. I like to communicate and talk to other investors in the industry and just other EXP agents, just to see what's going on and see what they're doing, just to stay in the loop. Following up on EXP Workplace, just checking in different places to see where other information, resources, or deals might be. So that's really what my day is composed of. I try to end my day now like around 6 o'clock. Before, when I first got licensed, usually it's like 24/7 grind, which I do suggest to any new agents. It's like grind 24/7, never turn down a phone call, even if it's at 9, 10 o'clock at night. Now, just because I do have an assistant that answers phones, I usually stop around 6 o'clock.
Okay. Do you work weekends, Trent?
I do. I'll take phone calls on weekends. I still try to keep the same mindset as when I first started, just to keep that hustle going and keep staying engaged, so I don't just act like I'm too big for my britches to say I'm not going to take a phone call because it's after hours. I'll still do it. It's limited because I still, you want to kind of have your family time and your personal time. But when, you're really trying to grow and build your business, you don't have time to turn down phone calls or to turn off your phone. If you're not going to answer, have someone in place to answer so you're able to service your clients, at any time.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and move over next door to you. Let's see. How about you guys? Let's go over to Jenny first. Jenny, how are you starting your day? Is there a certain time you're getting up? Walk us through your day.
Okay, so I have a 6-year-old and 7-year-old.
Corey, are you still there?
Oh, do I have everyone?
You do.
Okay, so I have 2 little kids, kindergarten and 1st grade. So I will not wake up unless I'm waking them up for school. I've tried it. I tried the 5 a.m. club. It's not me. So now we get up as a family at 7 a.m. and I get them to school at 8 a.m. and I start my day at 10. So after I drop them off, I come home and I usually work out. I get the house organized and back to the kind of normal chaotic it is, and get myself ready for the day, shower, all that good stuff. And I start working at 10. And then for about an hour and a half, I typically am returning phone calls, following up, doing all that good stuff. And then I typically try to do appointments starting around lunchtime, and I end my day at 3 p.m. when I pick the kids up. I typically work 1, sometimes 2 nights a week, but I try to stack myself for 1 night a week. So 1 day a week, I don't pick the kids up. I'm lucky enough to have a husband who's in the Coast Guard, and he has a pretty flexible schedule, so he can pick them up, no problem. But 1 night a week, I just stack all my appointments for that 1 night, and I'll go from 3 o'clock until 8, 9 o'clock at night. And then I work usually 2 Sundays a month on showings or everything. It's usually 3 to 4 hours on that Sunday, just to do the stuff that people can't do during the week. Because usually if we have clients, they also have jobs. But it's not bad at all. It's really not too crazy. I also do answer my phone calls though. So my clients all know that I put my phone on Do Not Disturb if I am at a kid event or having food with my family, having a meal with my family. One of those things that, you have to teach people how to treat you. So my clients also know that they can call and text me anytime, day or night, and that my phone will be on Do Not Disturb, so they won't be bothering me at 2 a.m. when they can't sleep and they think of a question, but that I will respond to them in the morning when I get to the office at 10 a.m. And it's worked out beautifully. When I did start, though, I did absolutely do the 24/7 grind for a good year and a half. It's what you have to do just to get going. So I definitely paid my dues to finally get set up to have these kind of hours.
I have to commend you on that schedule. There's not very many people that can maintain a schedule like that. And I love that. I think it's super important to have balance and to put family first, because then everything else falls into place. So way to go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hey, Robin, how about you? Walk us through your day. Where does it start? When does it end? What does that look like?
So morning is not my strength. And my kids are older, so I have a 19-year-old and a 20-year-old. So in the beginning, I did, like Trent said, it was 24/7, literally wake up and you do real estate 24/7 in order to just kind of build my base. And then now, a few years later, I get to be a little less, I get to have a little time for me. So on a daily basis, I wake up about 8. And I do, I would say 80% of my business is from social media. So I'm on social media, laying in my bed. My sweet husband brings me coffee, and I do social media for about 2 hours, doing some organic networking, posting things, engaging with people. Then I get up and shower and head about my day. And then the day, varies from closings to appointments to paperwork, follow-up, research. And I end my day at 8 p.m. Typically, I'll take a break for lunch and for dinner. During the dinner hour, I just do family. But then I will go back after dinner. We eat dinner about 6:30. I go back after dinner and kind of, all right, what has to happen for the rest of the day? And then 8 o'clock, I try to call it off. I would say I try, because some days, you have deals that you have to get an offer in or whatnot. But even then, I'm holding pretty stringent to my 8 to 8, and then weekends. For the last 2 years, I've been able to take off one weekend day a month, one weekend day a week. I'm sorry, and try to focus on some me time. And I'd like to get to Jenny's schedule. That sounds phenomenal. So that'll be a goal for 2021.
I love that too. I think we all need to make that a goal.
Exactly.
I should add though, for my schedule, I'm very lucky that our town is extremely small. So it literally takes me, the farthest I usually have to drive is 10 minutes. So that's kind of a cheat, but it's true. I drive all day long everywhere, and I go through a tank of gas about every 2 weeks.
Oh, that's insane.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Hey, Marty, how about you? Walk us through your day. When does it start? When does it end? And what's like some of the things that you have to get done every day? It's like your routine.
So Jenny's got it going on. I don't know if I can top that, but my husband and I, like I said, we work together. We have 3 children, we got 14 and 11 and a 2-year-old. So we are running crazy. They're all into, well, not the 2-year-old, but the 2 older ones are into sports and all kinds of different stuff. So we run a pretty crazy schedule. And, like I said, I've been in real estate for 16 to 17 years. And what I have realized over the years is that scheduling is all about you, and no one's schedule can look exactly alike, but we can all be successful in the schedules that, the place where we are in life now. My schedule's changed tremendously over, the last 16, 17 years, and you just adjust. I got hung up for a while, I'll be honest, when we were with Keller Williams and going through a lot of their training, which was great, but I got hung up on the fact that they said you had to do it one way. And I have grown to realize that there's not just one way to do it. You can do it Jenny's way, you can do it Robin's way, you can do it Trent's way, I can do it my way, and we can all be equally successful. So I do urge you guys to listen to how everybody does things, but make it work for you. I mean, I have a family, I have children, I want to spend, I'm like Jenny, that time is very important. I do work a lot. I enjoy work, but my husband and I, we're a work hard, play hard. So I typically get up, anywhere from, 5 to 6 o'clock in the morning. We try to get things going. We got to get all the kids out the door. I try to do my workout or exercise first thing, get that knocked out, and you guys better not tell anybody, but I don't have time to go back and go home and do all this freshen up. So I do a real quick freshen up in I do what I call my superwoman change. It's just what I got to do. It's a place where I am. It's a time where I am. So don't tell anybody. A good place is stinky sometimes, but it is what it is. You got to make it happen. And all my mamas out there that are working, you know how this is. You just sacrifice a few things. So occasionally I sacrifice my hygiene, but anyway, I get, freshened up and I hit the ground running. I try to do my follow-ups and all that kind of thing in the morning, and then I try to do appointments from midday to the afternoon. My husband and I swap up on picking up children and getting them where they need to go. I do try to limit my nights and weekends as much as possible. That being said, I have team members that I can pass things over to. Right now, our market is bonkers, so I typically work with a lot more listings, which allows me to have some freedom at night and on the weekends, but our market's work is crazy. So I'm working with more buyers now than I typically would, but again, that's a season. So I'm working a little bit more at night and a little bit more on the weekends than I typically would. We travel a lot as well, so I try to fit things in where I can and take care of my folks while I'm here so that we can enjoy ourselves while we're gone. I do live and die by my phone and my calendar, but I am like Jenny. There are times when you have to kind of shut it off and put it aside. So my thing is just try to find your balance and what works for you, and then just know it's an ever-changing thing. It's okay to change your schedule from time to time as life changes.
I love that. Thank you for that. Okay, so I'm sure there's a lot of agents that are watching right now that are new to real estate, maybe haven't done a lot of deals. So let's go ahead and start with you, Trent. You're the token male on the panel today, so we'll start with you.
Okay.
When people are listening to this, you guys are doing crazy production. You've got really good schedules. Some of you are getting a lot of time off, which I think is fabulous. But it takes ethics, number one. It takes doing the work to get to where you are. So Trent, when you look back at where you began in real estate, what were some of the things you think that really propelled you and made you get to the production that you're at? What could you tell a new agent?
Yeah, for new agents, I think you got to realize that you have to really immerse yourself into the industry. Like you need to be the expert. Like you need to know everything you can possibly know about real estate. I think if you come in with that mindset and you start gaining knowledge everywhere you can possibly gain it, put that in your schedule to keep learning, keep expanding your knowledge base, be more of a resource to your client. That's what you have to do in these kind of times when it's a real competitive market. You have to, have those tools to be able to go out and sell yourself, to be more informed than the next agent, be more of a resource to your, first time home buyer with all the things that might be out there that can help them. Be more of a resource to investors, to not just come and say, hey, look at this, possible rehab deal. Like come with actual numbers to show them how this is going to give them a return on investment. Like do more so you can, be more, stand out from everyone else. So that would be my advice, is to just immerse yourself into the industry and start there and start letting people know what you're doing, 24/7 grind, build your base. And then from there, you'll start seeing your business grow. And then you can start being a little bit more, open with your time. But again, the schedules that we gave and everything that everyone's talking about on stage, this is after years of putting in a lot of work. So I just say immerse yourself and 24/7 grind.
I love that. How about you, Robin? Going back to your beginning days as a new agent, that sometimes is overwhelming and scary. And what do you do? That's the biggest thing. How do I fill my day? What is something you could tell a new agent they need to do to fill their day to get to your level?
So my go-to in my brain is the word focus as an acronym, and it's follow one course until successful.
Oh, I love that.
Thank you. The reason being is, as new agents, you are every dangly carrot is dangled in front of you. You need to buy this, you need to do this, you need to door knock, you need to call, you need to FISBO, and you need to do all those if you want, but you really can't. So what you have to do is pick one or two or three. I picked three my first year and said, okay, these are the three I want to focus on. I focused on social media, door knocking, and open houses. And that was my deal. I was like, this is my course. I'm going to do these three things. And that was what like Trent said, that's what I dove into. I'm going to become the beast at these three things. And then at the end of the year, like I track I have a board that in my office that it has a closing, and then it tells the source, like where did you get it? Facebook, door knocking, open house, where did you get that closing? So that later I can look back and say, okay, I got 80% of my year from social media. So apparently, even though it's a beautiful day and I want to go knocking, I can't, because I need to focus. I need to honor what has been good to me, and what has been good to me is the social media. So I still go knock on occasion, because I got I ended up getting $2.4 million off of one door knock one day, and so I still love it. But follow one course until successful, and you can't like throw one post up on social media and be like, oh, it didn't work. You got to be consistent. It's got to be something that you wake up and you do every day. And whatever you do, you wake up and you do it every day. Like when I've taught a class called Finding Your Business. And the secret to that is doing it every day, and it's non-negotiable. Like every single day you do lead gen. That's your non-negotiable. And except for Jenny on her time off, like I still covered her. But yeah, on that day off, you chill and you don't do your lead gen. Every other day, and I'm very dedicated to 20 contacts a day. If I haven't done my 20, then I'm not going to sleep. I'm going to send 2 more messages or 2 more texts, or I'm going to post something on someone's wall. So every single day. So follow one course until successful would be my advice.
I love it. Hey, Marty, how about you? Going back, you guys have been doing this for a long time. So I know you said you've run a team, you've done the husband and wife thing, but when you think about when you first started, what were some of the things that you did and that you still do to this day and that you would tell a new agent?
Well, starting out, it can be kind of scary, a little bit overwhelming. There's lots of ways to do things. And again, you can't do them all. I like what Robin was saying. You've got to choose, the avenues. And, starting out, I did some things that, some door knocking, some cold calling, things like that. And, I didn't love all of it. I didn't love all of it, but I had to get this business going. So really it was putting in the work, as Trent said. I mean, I was all in. I was eating, sleeping, and breathing real estate, because I knew once I got the ball rolling, then I could turn it into what I wanted it to be. So what my recommendation to newcomers would be: go all in, try a little bit of everything, figure out where your niche is, but go all in. Try some things that make you uncomfortable. You've got to do what you've got to do. If it's holding open houses because you don't have any listings for other agents, do that, own that, build this business. And then once you build it, you can start making decisions on the things that you do want to do and you don't want to do. So starting out, I had to do some things that I didn't really love doing, and I don't do those things anymore unless, I really, really have to. But what I also realized is that some of the things I thought I wouldn't like doing, I enjoy. But one of the things I did from the beginning, we are big on referral and networking, and I love to visit and chat with people. I'm not scared to say, hey, who do you know who wants to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? So one thing that was taught to me early on is people love to talk about real estate, and you can always turn the conversations to that, whether it's in the grocery store and you're standing in line and somebody looks back and they're like, oh my gosh, I love your shoes. Oh my gosh, they're so crazy comfortable. I sell real estate, so I'm on my feet all day, and then the conversation starts. So that's something that I still do to this day. I can turn any conversation towards real estate. I'm not intimidated to ask people, do they know anybody buying or selling? And that is one thing that I've done from start to finish and will continue to do always, is just network and talk with people, make sure they know what you're doing. Doesn't mean that you bug them to death and you only talk about real estate, but it's one of those things that you want to keep it top of mind all the time, and you want to make sure that other people know that that's what you do. And so I've been doing this 16, almost 17 years now. And, people think about real estate. I have people that call me and they'll be like, hey, we're going to do X, Y, Z. And I immediately thought of you. That just makes my heart happy. When you think of real estate, I want you to think of me, whether it's something that I can help you with or something that I have to refer out. As long as they call me first, I know that I'm doing my job. I'm doing what I'm front of mind when they think about real estate. So from start to finish, that's been my big thing, and that's been what I've hung on to.
I love that. All right, Jenny, let's hear about you. So when you first started out in real estate, take us back to like how your day was. Like, what are some of the things that you focused on then and you would tell a new agent today?
Okay, so I so much like Robin. It's so crazy. She said focus, and I had the same thing. When I became a realtor, it was because my agent in Boston, I loved her so much when we were moving to Louisiana, and she taught me a term called RD, which means rip off and duplicate. And at the end of the day, everything that we're all doing, we're not doing it for the first time. We're not the first people to do it. So she told me, and I lived by it, was to go out and find people that are doing what you want to be doing and learn from them, and use what you like, and then don't use what you don't like. So I spent a lot of time on YouTube, and I would look up different videos on what to say when I was door knocking and what to say when I was calling FSBOs and expireds. And I would listen to 10 different videos. I would click on somebody that I thought kind of looked like myself, honestly, and I would listen to how they would do it, and I would write down what I liked that they said and what I would be comfortable saying, and I didn't take what I wouldn't be comfortable saying, and I would make my own scripts to the point where it wasn't a script anymore. It was just second nature to have a conversation like that. And then I hit the pavement. I called all the for sale by owners, and I did all the social media and all the door knocking and everything, open houses. I worked as much as I could every single day, just nonstop, all I did. And it quickly just kind of snowballs. Door knocking, I loved door knocking, just like Robin. I realized, so to make door knocking less intimidating, I would find an open house that I can do. Even when I didn't have any listings, I would ask a different agent if I could do an open house for them. And of course, they would always say yes. And that's what I would market. So I would pick a neighborhood that I wanted to farm, basically. I would be hosting an open house. So the week before, I would print information about the house that I was going to be doing the open house for. And my door knocking was inviting them to the open house and asking if they had any, any relatives or any friends that wanted to move to the neighborhood. And just by having those conversations and asking them what they liked about living there, not only was I creating marketing material for the open house to know how to talk about the neighborhood, but it was a very quick in, and I got tons of buyers and tons of listings that way. And the same thing with for sale by owners. I would go on Zillow and look up for sale by owners because all of their phone numbers are at the very, very bottom of the listing. And I would call them and set an appointment. I wouldn't do the spiel saying I have a buyer and then show up without a buyer, because I don't think that's honest. I would just say, if I have a buyer, I'd like to be able to present to them about your house, and I need to see the house first to be able to tell them about it. So I would go and meet with them, and then I would follow up every single week with them to see if their house was still on the market. And by doing that, I wasn't only showing that I was disciplined in how I would be as their realtor, but I was also reminding them their house was still on the market, subconsciously. Every time I would call, that's one more week the house hasn't sold as a for sale by owner. And I didn't say anything crazy. I didn't have to do a fancy song and dance. I just kept in contact with them, and they would always end up listing with me just because I was professional and consistent. And to this day, that is my go-to. If I ever feel like things are slowing down, or I have, December comes or whatever, I just get on Zillow and I check out the for sale by owners. I make a list of 20 and I call them 3 days in a row until I get a hold of somebody. And then that is my little list that I kind of work for any slow months.
I love that. So we've talked about building your business. We've talked about scheduling, how important that is. I know a lot of agents right now. We've got over 200 agents in our auditorium watching in our EXP world, and on live. I'm sure there's people watching it on YouTube. And so everyone, new agent, seasoned agent, team leader, whatever, everyone's always curious. What are you doing about lead gen? What are you doing about this? What are you doing about that? So when you just talked about slow months and such, we're in a crazy market right now. It's 2021. Most of our markets are on fire. We're in basically a seller's market. So things are different than they normally are. So Trent, in a normal market, not just in today's, but in a normal market, what do you think is your number one source for lead gen? What are you doing?
So, okay.
Trent, are you there?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. So, for marketing, it's important to understand agent. Like for marketing, don't think that paid marketing is going to be the end all be all for you to start generating leads and start doing some closings. That's not how it works. And I was mistaken into thinking that when I first started doing paid marketing, you need to understand where it comes from and what is the motivation of the lead, and for that based on their motivation. So for if you're doing an online Facebook campaign or a paid campaign from some marketing company, or from even if you do like a Making It Rain campaign on EXP, you're like when you get a lead that comes into your CRM, that lead I clicked on and maybe put in my name and an email address, and that was it. Like you don't know what that person's motivation or motives really were when they clicked on it and you got that lead. So it's about understanding like that person might not be too engaged. You don't know when they might be able to buy. You don't know if they're capable. You don't know what their credit might be. You don't know anything. So when that lead comes in, that doesn't mean that's just going to immediately lead to you having a sale and a closing. That means that's just one person that you might have to follow up with for the next month, 2 months, 6 months, a year. You don't know how long. So when you're paying for those have very low value. So it's a numbers game when you start getting into buying leads, when you buy them with that level of motivation. So if you get better leads, which other marketing companies will advertise, like, hey, we have really good solid leads, Zillow leads, or however these other companies try to advertise to you, they're trying to get you to buy in so they can, have revenue coming in for their lead gen and ads for agents like yourself. But you have to understand what that leads motivation is, and not spending and wasting a lot of your money on doing that, and not understanding that it might take months and months and months of follow-up before that lead turns into a sale. So I always suggest new agents start with doing free stuff. Do circle prospecting, do your social media. Make sure everybody know in your community, everybody in your neighborhood, all your friends, your family, people you went to school with, make sure they know what you're doing. Make sure you're all about real estate. You're the real estate person. When they think of you, just like what Jenny said, when somebody thinks of her, they think real estate. Or when they think real estate, they think of her. So that's how you got to position yourself. Don't waste too much money on doing marketing. When you are ready, then you can start trying little marketing here and there and try different things. And that's kind of going back to kind of what Robin said about, figuring out, trying different things, knowing what your niche needs to be. But then when it comes to marketing, do the same thing. Try different forms of marketing when you're ready to start paying for marketing. Now, this means you already got a pipeline going. You got a couple sales coming in. Now I have some money that I can reinvest into my business. And then you can take that money and then invest into doing various forms of marketing, whether it be mailers, you might want to do door hangers. Try some different things and then just gauge the results. So tracking your results is very important when you start spending your money, because now it's an investment. So you got to make sure you're getting a good return on investment and factor in the time and opportunity cost of you spending that money now, where you might not see results until 6 months from now. So you got to make sure it all balances out when you get into paid marketing. So that would be my suggestion on you, doing your marketing. Start with the free stuff.
Love that. Hey, Marty, let's go with you. He touched on circle prospecting. You've been in the business for, a long time. Go ahead and tell everybody, in a normal market and even in today's market, what are you finding is your best source and your best results for lead gen?
Yeah, I agree with Trent. I especially starting out, I wouldn't spend a whole lot of money on marketing, and I still to this day don't spend a ton of money on marketing. Most of our business comes from repeat and referral. And again, I'm a belly to belly kind of person. I like to be around other people. I like to be face to face. I'm not, a robo dialer. That's some people's thing. That's not mine. I don't mind calling people and talking to them on the phone, but I would rather call people that I know. So I'm really big on repeat and referral, asking people that I know, who do you know buying and selling? Because as Trent mentioned, internet leads are great, but a lot of them are not ready to go immediately. You have to nurture them and work them along. And I'm happy to do that. But a warm lead from a past client or friend is, the turnover rates for those are huge. The conversion rates, the percentages go way up there, because somebody they know, like, and trust has recommended somebody to them. And so I found that's just the best way to do it. And so now that I have built my business, I spend my marketing dollars on client events and loving on and doing things for my past clients, present clients, and my referral sources. We do all kinds of stuff with that, and that's in a normal market or in this crazy market here. Now, what I will tell you about the crazy market here, I've pulled out some old school strategies that I've actually had fun doing. So, because I am working with more buyers than I typically do right now, because everybody's hunting somebody that can get it done, and they know that I hustle. So I've been figuring out what my clients are wanting, and then go into the neighborhoods and look at the agents that I know there that sell a lot in these particular areas. And I'm calling them, what do you got coming? Like, I'm trying to dig up, again, it's that whole, belly to belly, get off the internet. I got to talk to people. I got to find out stuff before it hits the internet, because once it hits the internet, everybody knows about it. So I'm picking my phone up. I'm calling agent friends of mine, and I'm going, hey, what do you know here? What do you got here? I'm doing a lot of, I know Robin does social media. I've been doing a lot of posting. Here's the list of things I'm looking for. Who do you know that is thinking about selling their home that fits this criteria? So my stuff is really grassroots, just networking, and that's what I enjoy. That doesn't mean that may be what you guys enjoy. Again, find your thing and your niche, but the networking, I enjoy it, and it doesn't cost a lot of money. And I always do send thank you notes and thank you cards and gift cards and things like that to people, whether the leads pan out or not, just so they know that I really appreciate them thinking of me. So most of my stuff is done around, networking and things of that nature.
I love that. Hey, Jenny, how about you? Not even just like when you got started, but in today's market and, in our normal market, what are you finding for your area and for what you're doing is bringing you the best bang for your buck for lead gen?
Oh,
Jenny?
sorry about that. Hey, I was on mute. Sorry about that. So I don't pay for lead gen anymore as of not very long ago. I was doing Zillow for a few years. After I'd say 6 to 9 months in, after I started making some money, I started paying for Zillow, and it went very well for a couple of years, and then I felt my leads were fizzling out and I didn't have the time to answer the calls anyways. So I'm now lucky enough to where I'm not paying for any lead generation. But typically what I do is Facebook is, and I know we've talked a lot about social media. I'm really big on Facebook, and whenever I need some leads, I follow back on my listings. So I'll post a listing. When I post a listing, I post on my personal page and I also post on my business page. And then I share it to roughly 22 different groups in this area that are, Homa area classifieds, Louisiana real estate, just any group that I'm part of that has, a few thousand people, 50,000 people, whatever. I post that on there, and then whoever gets tagged in it, I will like the tag, and then I follow up with them with a PM, and it's basically a free lead because you're literally having people tell you who's looking to buy a house. And so if you take the time to follow up with those people, even if they don't respond back, I usually can get a few buyers or a few sellers that way. But this market right now, I think it's insane, but I love it because I'm kind of doing the same thing of the old school tactics. When I have a buyer who wants in a certain neighborhood, and I know the house that they're interested in is going to get 10 offers in one day and go above ask with no closing costs, I go and I farm that neighborhood and I go door knocking, and it's been very, very good. I have roughly, I think, 7 or 8 pendings right now that are all pre-sold off market that were never listed because I went and talked to the neighbors and I let them know how much that house was listed for, what we were potentially going to offer, so what the price range is that things are going for, and ask if I could get them an offer like that if they would be interested in selling, and they're agreeing to it. So kind of taking a side door approach or a backdoor approach to getting the sales right now is turning out very good. In Louisiana, we do not have any laws against dual agency. You're allowed to be a dual agent. So it's worked out beautifully. And then I'm just doing a little bit lower of a commission for a house that's off market, which is kind of sealing the deal. So typically I'll do a 4% commission if I get a house off market and make it pre-sold. And the whole process seems to be really smooth because I don't have another agent that I'm negotiating against for price or for inspections. So it's just basically finding a different way and what works for you.
I love that. How about you, Robin? What are you thinking is your best source for lead gen, either past or present?
Facebook has been my bread and butter and steak and lobster since the beginning. I don't do Facebook marketing, like in terms of I don't do any paid ads or any boosting. Really, truly, it's relationship building and networking and community building within groups that are community groups. But then also I have a couple of pages that have 10 to 20,000 members on there, and it's about building relationships. So, and you can pad the groups with some questions like, if someone asks who's your favorite dentist, of course I'll put my dentist out there. And then if I notice in the group there's nothing about real estate for a while, I might ask a question like, hey, I've got a buyer looking to be in South Charlotte. What's your favorite neighborhood there? And then they start talking about it. And so my job, part of my daily lead gen every day from the 8 to 10 mark is where I'm on these groups engaging and feeding them information about the community, but then also trying to get information from them. So many of the groups ask about schools, ask about neighborhoods, ask about commute times, and those people that are asking those questions, those are your buyers and sellers. And I just build relationships with them, and boom. So I'm truly not doing a whole lot different. The only thing I have done a little bit different, but I've done it all along, is just like I think Marty was just saying, let's say my people really want, XYZ neighborhood. Well, then I go knock XYZ neighborhood and just say, I do have a buyer that wants to be here, or I'll post it in social media groups that relate to that area, and put my needs out there for my buyers. And then I have also, I think Marty was the one just talking about dual agency. A lot of times in these groups, you can't post as a realtor, but your client can, because they're not a realtor. So I've had a few realtors just lately a few clients just lately post their needs and then tag me in the post. And so they're basically doing my marketing and prospecting for me. 'Cause
I love that.
Yeah, so they'll say, I'm looking for a 4-3 in this neighborhood, and our budget's this. Yeah, please call Robin Mann if you're thinking about listing your home. So they're totally doing my work for me, which is phenomenal. So yeah, I utilize my groups a lot.
So when we talk about, like, I've been in real estate since 1992, so I know old school, new school, building relationships. I think all of that is super important. And as the real estate industry continues to get more crowded and we've got more disruption, in real estate, we're always being bombarded with, rabbit holes and the next distraction and shiny objects. And, this is your best CRM. This is your best lead gen tool, all these things. And as new agents and even seasoned, sometimes we can get allured to that shiny object. So for you, Marty, let's start with you, Marty. What is something, number one, do you use a CRM, and how important do you think that is?
I think especially for for my strategy, which is keeping up with past clients, that's super important to have a CRM. I have changed several over the years, and trying to find the right one. We are starting to implement, like I said, we've only been with EXP for about 14 months. So we are starting to get familiar with and implement the one that they offer. But the one we were using before, and we're still using now, we have not completely switched over, is Contactually. And it was, the reason we chose it, honestly, is because it was simple. And I'm all about something being simple. And so with the CRM, it just allows me to consistently keep up with my past and present clients. It's hard to ask people for business if if you're not consistently following up with them. We do client events, that sort of thing as well. Lots of mail outs and such. And we've kind of, lots of emails. I do a monthly newsletter. So it's very important to have all those people tagged and in one place. So if I have any recommendations for new agents, get your CRM going right from the beginning, because if you're like me 17 years later and you're still trying to clean it up and move things over and do all this kind of stuff, it's just better. That's one big advantage you have starting new. Like, do it right from the beginning, get that CRM, get familiar with it, put everyone in there, tag them correctly, and keep that thing rolling, because that is your gold. That's your gold mine. It's my gold mine. And you need to treat it that way for sure. I don't always do the best job of that, but we are constantly working on that.
I love that. With EXP, we all have KV Core, and that thing is a beast, and you can do lead gen and you can keep up with all kinds of stuff on there. But a lot of people like yourself have been in business for a long time and are using different methods. Robin, are you using KV Core? Are you using a CRM? How are you tracking your clients?
I absolutely love KV Core. So I started with a different brokerage, and I started using Realty Juggler because it's very simple. It's like $100 a year. It's a no-brainer, and I do feel it was very important to my success, because every time I had a conversation with anyone in any capacity, I put them in that CRM with a follow-up date. And it is very manual. It's very old school. Like, it does have bells and whistles that I never used. So then moving over to, I got really frustrated at my other brokerage with their lack of technology working. And so one of the things that did draw me to EXP is KV Core, and I absolutely love it. Like, I'll sit here, on watching TV with the hubs, and a lead comes in that I've done. I don't know. I don't know what I've done for it, because I just set up the system. So, but basically what KV Core does is what I was doing manually for 6 years, and it does it in a minuscule amount of time, and it's phenomenal. Like, I haven't even utilized it to its full capacity, but the tiny bit of it I have used has been off the charts. The key is the follow-up. Like, part of my reason for hiring an assistant is to like, she sends out if a baby's born, or if someone dies, or if it's a birthday or a wedding anniversary, and it's all in my KV Core or in my Realty Juggler, that, hey, it's their stuff's coming up, mail them something. So she handles that for me because I'm not good at that. And but I wouldn't be able to keep track of that if I didn't have a good CRM. So I too am not great at checking in on it daily, because it does assign you tasks. But I spend at least one day a week, or every other week. I'll be honest. I spend one day every other week for database catch up and making sure I've utilized and done what KV Core has told me to do. Someone just asked me a question in the box. Who handles that for you? I have an assistant who a lot of her job is database and client. I call it client retention, or just keeping in touch with your clients. So she sends my birthday cards, anniversary cards, and I'll just screenshot. Like, I'm friends with the majority of my people on Facebook, and I'll just send a screenshot if somebody had a baby, or if somebody had someone die, even if it's a pet. I'll screenshot it, send it to her. She'll write the card, send it, and then update the database. So yeah, I think lead gen is non-negotiable. The follow up. If you follow up people, it's going to happen. They say, like, what is it? 80% of all sales happen after the 8th touch.
Yep.
So you got to just keep touching them. Somebody else asked there, what's the average expense on this? It's for Realty Juggler, if you do that, that's like $100 a year. But KV Core is part of our system, and then for cards, it's not much, like $5 at the maximum. KV Core, how do you get it started? Someone just asked. There's a really good deal. If y'all haven't seen it, if you go into KV Core, up in the top right corner, it says Agent Success Plan. And it is the easiest little videos. They're like 6-minute videos, and you watch and they tell you what to do. And then there's people you can pay to do KV Core for you and set it up the way you want. But I love the little Agent Success Plan. Every time I do it, I'm blown away by what it offers. Do you want me to keep answering these questions down here? Because there's
no, it's okay. You can go ahead and type in our box. Let's move over to Trent. Trent, how about you? Are you using KV Core? What are you using for your CRM? Do you believe in the CRM?
Yes, I do. And I do use KV Core. I would say initially I was distracted by a lot of different softwares and CRMs before I joined EXP. And actually, even when I initially joined, because I didn't fully understand KV Core, I didn't know how it worked. I actually learned a lot from the tutorial. They have some tutorial videos in the upper right corner when you first log in, and it'll kind of tell you about how to use it. And it is very robust. So you being able to utilize all of it is going to take a lot of time. It's a little overwhelming, but I would say, knowing first off, EXP pretty much provides you with all the resources you need when you're first starting. Like, you don't have to look outside for any other, software, scripts, any presentations, anything or templates you need is available through EXP. So that's the first thing to know and realize, and look for your resources there first within, you log into your, EXP portal and kind of seeing everything that's there available to you. So start there and then utilize all the resources. Use KV Core. It is, set up your website. You can set up landing pages from there. So you can do a lot of Facebook marketing, which all this stuff is free for you to be able to set all this stuff up. And then as you grow, then I would say maybe start, researching other tools, marketing software, other things that you can possibly use to add to your, to everything else that you're doing. So I would say, you definitely just start with everything EXP offers, and then maybe research other things that you might be able to utilize later as you grow.
I love that. How about you, Jenny? Are you doing KV Core, and do you believe in the CRM?
I suck at a CRM. It's my worst thing in life. Honest to God, I am really bad at it every year. So I have KV course set up. I've gone through about the first 4 videos, and they are very easy. And then work and life take over, and I do this every single year in January as my New Year's resolution, and I just am really bad at it. It's my goal to have a really good CRM, and that is my biggest piece of advice as well. As soon as you start with a CRM, because I didn't, and I don't know if I can ever get caught up. So what I typically do to follow up with clients is I'm very big on Facebook. So when I'm laying in bed at night before I go to bed or whatever, I just make sure I send all the happy birthdays, the good jobs. If I see somebody has a birthday on Facebook, I shoot them the text. So it's not, just lost in Facebook world. So I try to keep in contact with my people as much as I can that way. But that is my weak point. Absolutely. I'm terrible about it. And I'm not set up the right way at all. So I'm a terrible example of a CRM.
But you know what? I love the fact that you were just honest and you shared, because we're all different. Everybody's got weaknesses and everybody's has strengths. And in real estate, there's so many different facets to our business. I know we're going to be coming to a close soon. So for everybody that's paying attention out there and watching us right now, let's start with you, Marty. What are one of your biggest challenges and struggles, and what are you doing to overcome that?
Probably one of my biggest struggles is I'm not super duper techie, and the world is tech, the technology is there. And so I kind of struggle with that, honestly. And what I do, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I'm working on, getting on TikTok and doing some things like that, because I think it's important to be on the platforms where your clients are and where your clients' friends are, especially if you are looking for repeat and referral business like I am. So I know the importance of it. I'm kind of with Jenny on the CRM. I'll be, honest, we've had one for a long time. My people are in there. Thank heavens for my right arm and my office manager, Lisa. She does a great job with that, because if it was left up to me, Jenny, I would be a hot mess. But she does an amazing job. She does an amazing job with that, and so it takes an army over here to keep this boat rolling. But really, it's the technology piece, and it's all forever changing. I do enjoy the marketing piece of it, but that's a piece that I have had to farm out and give to hire people in to help me with, and I'm okay with that. But I struggle with, like, how far do you go with this and how much do you spend there? My husband's a numbers guy, so the whole idea of you pay X and you can see your return of Y, that's where you kind of struggle. Now, Robin does a great job of tracking her stuff, so she knows that her time spent on social media, exactly how that's turning over. But sometimes, we're doing a lot of video right now. We're doing a lot of interviewing people in our in our industry, lenders and title attorneys and things like that. So we're being very, very present on social media, but it's a hard thing to track sometimes if it's not a direct, I saw you on Facebook, that sort of thing. So I struggle with the technology piece. I think that I do a pretty good job of trying to overcome that. And what I can't overcome, I really, right now, and that's my focus this year. I know Jenny said hers was CRM. My focus this year is to get organized and more purposeful and consistent on my social media presence and my marketing there. And so I'm working with a couple different people, and we're going to be hiring somebody in to kind of help that. I don't want to give that up completely, because I do enjoy the social aspect of being on social media. I like posting things, but when you get busy, your posting slows down. So we're working on consistency with that. So what I figured out is where I struggle, that's when that you have to leverage and hire out. And sometimes, you just have to bite the bullet and pay somebody else to do it. So that's how we are overcoming my struggle with technology.
I love it. How about you, Trent? What is something that you're struggling with or a challenge, and how are you overcoming that?
I would say just overall, just on a higher level, it's just kind of seeing where our industry is headed. As real estate agents, with technology coming in place, a lot of companies are virtually trying to replace or eliminate the traditional real estate agent, just kind of like how companies like Carvana are eliminating the car salesman, companies like Open Door, Zillow, A lot of the larger companies, they're trying to ultimately eliminate the traditional real estate agent. So it's trying to look around the corner and kind of see what's coming down the pipeline. I've been kind of looking at, the inventory of new construction that's coming into place, and then also seeing how, builders are starting to go towards a built for rent model when they're building out subdivisions. So I'm reading about large builders like Lennar and, other national builders. They're starting to do a built for rent model. So when they're building new subdivisions, it's not going to be wide open for real estate agents to come in and say, hey, I can go sell my client a new construction. A lot of these new subdivisions might be going towards rentals. So they're saying, the whole subdivision will be ran like an apartment complex where they're renting out all the units that way. So it's trying to say, like, what is the true role going to be for the average agent when a lot of these things are happening in the next 5 or 10 years? To position yourself to still be successful, then to still be a good resource to your clients, and to align yourself with the way the market is changing, to say, how do you position yourself for what's to come? You have to make money and eat now, but you also have to look at, how do I need to pivot for a future that is coming? Technology is coming. Technology is going to make things more efficient. Blockchain is going to cut a lot of middlemen out when it comes to, title people, closing attorneys. All that, like, stuff is going to change drastically in the next 5-10 years. So it's like looking around the corner, seeing what's coming, and trying to prepare for that, so your business is still growing and prosperous even when change eventually inevitably comes.
Oh, I love that. Thank you for sharing. And we're going to finish it out with Robin, because we know Jenny's struggle is her CRM. Robin, you got Facebook down. It's to a science, it sounds like. What is something that you're struggling with, or a challenge for you in your business?
The current market has been a struggle, just emotionally, just dealing with, the lack of inventory, and, writing multiple offers for your buyers, and having your sellers worry about wanting to sell, but then they want to sell, but they need somewhere to buy. So I've been very proactive on all of that. And I think personally that we as a industry need to change the narrative to the public and tell the world, yes, I had 15 offers and we got under contract in 2 hours, and it was multiple offers. I think where we're falling short right now is we're telling that, but then we're not telling the next piece, which is what the public needs to hear. By shouting out the first part that, hey, this all happened so quickly and so easily, it makes us kind of look good, but actually I think it devalues us. And I think we as an industry need to step up and say, yes, we got 15 offers. Do you know how, or do you know why this offer is better than this one? Because if you don't, and you're a FSBO, for sale by owner, then you need to talk to me, because I can help you negotiate what's important in this information and what's not. So I think that's a huge thing that we can do as an industry to show our value, is to go out there and kind of stand up for ourselves, that you do need me. And then also I think just being positive, like instead of everybody moaning about the lack of inventory, change the narrative, like just make it positive, where oh my gosh, I've got this great listing and I've got 4 on the way. So if we as an industry start saying I've got 4 on the way, then people start hearing that, and they start believing that the market's not as scary as it is. And then our listers might actually list, because they feel like the market's not terrifying. So that's something I'm personally doing as a mission, is to go out and change the narrative. I can't do it as one woman. So if any of y'all want to jump on the bandwagon with me, I think it would be smart, because I do think it helps us against the iBuyers. I think it helps us against the Zillows and the FSBOs, to say we have value and we're important and you need us, and we're trained for this. So that's my challenge, and that's how I'm working through it.
I love that. I'm a big believer in goals. Jenny, what's a goal for you for 2021?
My CRM. Absolutely. But really, it's just, with this crazy market, it's just to continue to work as hard as possible while you can, because at some point in life, it's going to stop. And so you just got to kind of take it while you can.
Do you have a sales volume goal for end of the year?
It's to beat 15 million. It's always just to beat my last year. Yeah. So if I can get over 15 million, I'll be happy.
Love it. How about you, Marty?
We have talked over the years about sales goals and that sort of thing. And it gets to the point I told my husband, I'm like, I don't always have to up the goal. Like I don't always want to do more and more and more. Sometimes it's just goals of doing it better, maybe having more quality time with the family, so our whole, I don't know if any of you guys do this. We have like a word each year, I have a word, my husband has a word. And my word for the year has been organization. And it's been organization starting with my home and, my closet and my, everything. So we are totally doing like reorganization everywhere. So my goal this year is to get everything working like a well-oiled machine and be very organized so that I can do the same amount of volume. If I do more, that's great. If not, I'm okay with that as long as my organization allows me more free time with my children or my husband or my family, and for us to travel. So organization's the big thing for us. We've been doing a lot of volume for many, many years. I love working with my folks, but I don't want to just kill myself just to say that I've, beat the goal from last year. So we kind of stopped that a couple of years ago because I just told my husband, look, I've gone about as far as I really want to go at this point where we are with our family and everything. So let's start looking at goals that we can continue to maintain what we're doing, but do it better and do it, more streamlined where we have, extra time for other things, so that's been our focus this year. And so far we're making a lot of big strides towards it. So I'm excited about that.
How about you, Trent? What's the goal for this year?
My goal is to finish a new development I've started. So I got some land, and I figure if you can't find inventory, you got to create yourself. So I'm about to start building some townhomes and selling them off.
Oh, I love that. How about you, Robin?
My goal is similar to Marty's. Like, I'm not looking for more volume. I love saying that I average selling one home a week, and that's what I've done the last 3 years, and I'm on target to hit that again. So I love that. I'm really into the agent attraction piece this year, from the concept of wanting to help people. Like, I really love the idea that I'm okay to not increase my volume if I'm bringing some people on and helping them increase theirs and making good agents out there. So I'm pretty excited about the agent attraction piece. And then personally, my husband and I, we've done 3 flips this year. So we're looking to continue that thought pattern, and just kind of continue that stream of income.
I love that. I'm a big believer in words too. My word for this year and pretty much almost every year is abundance. I believe that we're here all to live an abundant life. And I had my own brokerage. I was an independent broker owner and came over to EXP in October of 2018. And my life was forever changed. This company is amazing. And getting to be on a panel as a moderator with you guys, I think you all are amazing. And just the fact that you were here today to share your story and give people tips, and you did this on your own time. And as part of EXP, this is something that they're big on, is collaborating and sharing and helping grow other agents. And there's not another company in the world that we see that's like this. That's one of my favorite things about EXP. Jenny, what is one of yours?
The community, absolutely. I've been in sales for 25 years, I think, and this has been such a great collaborative community that it's very, very cool that you can meet people from all over the entire country and world, and then we get to see each other once or twice a year. But it's just everybody's willing to help each other, and there's no drama, there's no anything like that. It's just a very professional but fun environment.
How about you, Marty?
The thing that I have just loved the most about EXP, the camaraderie is great. 110% with you there. The biggest thing that I love about EXP, and this is coming out of a couple of different franchises, and the things that we felt like we were searching for and couldn't find there, is opportunities. The opportunity to run your business any way that you want to, as long as it's ethical and legal. And I love that, because we were with other companies over the years that we want to try to work our business this way, and it was like, oh, but we can't because KW won't let us do X, or they won't let us do Y. We don't have those limitations with EXP. EXP lets us run our business the way we want to, and that has been huge for us. I had, just for an example, we spent a lot of time down in Perdido Key, Florida, down the Florida-Alabama line. Always wanted to be licensed down there. Looked into it several times, way too expensive, going to cost a fortune to do it. You'd have to, sell a whole bunch down there to make it make sense. And, we just didn't know if that was worth it. Moved to EXP and I figured out I can license in any state that I want. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. And that was huge. I mean, it was just, and we've been with them 14 months, but it's like every corner I turn, there's a new opportunity. I could do this, I could do that. It's just the fact that they don't limit you. All brokerages say we're about the agents, but this is the first brokerage that I have seen that is truly and honestly about the agents, because it's hard to be about the agents when you're worried about making sure the owners are making money. And here they're really, really agent focused, and the agents are the owners. And that is just unlike anything else. I just can't believe it. I cannot believe this brokerage exists and that we are part of it now. I wish that I found it 5 years ago, but that's.
Amen to that. How about you, Robin? What's one of your favorite things about EXP?
One of my favorite things about EXP is that I think in the first 2 or 3 weeks of joining, I got to go to an event and meet Dave Kennard and Glenn Sanford. And I saw them again about a month later, and they both knew my name. And to me, it just blew me away that these guys that are the top dogs actually can remember my name and think that I have value. And the fact that I'm standing here on this stage right now, like, to me, that I really feel like I'm challenged. Like, that's what I wanted. I felt at my previous brokerage that I wasn't challenged. There was only two ways to do it: either go corporate or go a team, and I didn't want either of those. And I'm invited and encouraged and supported to go in whatever direction I want. And that, like, I'd left my first meeting with the people who I spoke with about coming here, and I felt giddy. I was like, oh my gosh, like, I'm so excited. And I still feel giddy a year and a half later about what I mean, I can't even imagine what the possibilities are. And I think that in and of itself is phenomenal. Like, that I can't even anticipate the wave of success that I can be a part of. So yeah, I think Marty said opportunity. I'm just blown away by the support and the culture and the opportunity.
Love that. How about you, Trent? What's your favorite thing about EXP?
Yeah, same thing is diversity for sure. Diversity of the people, diversity of what everybody chooses to do. Because again, with EXP I try to explain it to people is more of a platform, and you can come over to the platform and do kind of whatever you want. And I like the freedom and flexibility you have. So if you want to be a solo agent, you want to be an agent that works with other agents doing referrals. If you want to build a team, if you just want to focus on just recruiting, or if you want to just be a mentor, like, you can do whatever you want, really. Like, again, as long as it's legal, it's like you can operate within real estate. Like me, I do mostly commercial type stuff. So it's like you can kind of do whatever you want, just find what's best for you. And EXP is the platform to do it.
Totally love that. You guys, I'm not sure how much more time do we have. Do y'all know?
No, we can just keep talking.
Okay, perfect. I love that then. Okay, so then let's start with you, Jenny. Are you looking at growing your business, growing a team? What are something you're going to focus on as far as growth in the future?
No, actually, I'm the opposite. So since I started real estate, I have, my husband and I have been very conservative about all the money I make. We live off of his salary. He's in the Coast Guard. He actually has been in 19 years, so he has one more year until retirement. We moved here to Louisiana 5 years ago. I actually never stepped foot in the state before I got my real estate license. So we have been using that money and buying rental properties, and we are now up to 18 doors, and the goal is to have enough properties to eventually hire a property manager, and we have a goal of retiring in 5 years for both of us. So, financial independence, retire early. So our whole process is actually, and I think that's also why subconsciously my CRM is never there, because I have this end goal in mind. But our goal is to make enough quote unquote mailbox money combined with his retirement pension, and go move you potentially Costa Rica or somewhere. We haven't quite decided, but so it is not to create a team or to get bigger. It is actually just to build to eventually retire at 45 years old.
Oh, I love that. How about you, Marty? What's your plans for the future? Are you growing another team? Are you going to expand? Are you moving into another market? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, well, that's a very good question. We're always moving and shaking. I am I did license in Alabama already. I'm getting ready to license in Florida. So I'm actually pursuing that dream for sure. So we're going to try to get some partners in those areas and start growing our net. We've got a big network down there. I've never tapped it for real estate though. It's always just been, friends, family, and fun. So I am going to grow that arm of our business. We do have a small team now. I've had big teams in the past. When it comes to that, we kind of I don't necessarily seek out agents for my team, but I seek out agents in general now for the network. So my goal this year is to surround myself and fill our office with fun, exciting people that want to succeed, that want to work hard and help them achieve their dreams and goals. If that means them coming onto our team, if it's for a long term or short term, that's great. If it just means them becoming part of our network and we help them grow and build their own brand, that's fine too. And that's the other thing that I love about EXP. It allows me to help other people and I can bring them into my network or I can bring them into my team. There's no, either or. So my goal is just to grab a handful of agents and surround myself by other successful agents, but also help them get to the goals and the places that they're wanting to be. And there's nothing better than to watch other agents succeed and get to be a part of that time in their life. So that's what we're really excited about, growing our network. If our team grows in the meantime, that's great. If it doesn't, that's okay too. We're going to keep referring out the overflow of business to the teammates that we have or just people in our network. And then we're definitely going to expand and tap our network in that, Florida, Alabama area as well. So we're excited to see where that goes.
Love that. Trent, I know a couple of people have asked, so if you're a mentor, people are looking for, help in Georgia where you are. What are your goals for growth and adding on? Are you going to grow your team? What are you looking at?
Yeah, similar to what Jenny said, growing my own portfolio is kind of the main focus for this year and moving forward. So me and my brother are business partners. So we've been working together, kind of creating a family business where we just buy rental properties, and we've been buying since 2008. So we have about 300 doors. Mostly apartment complexes, like 3 apartment complexes and single family homes, townhomes, and some mobile homes as well. So we're just continuing to grow the portfolio, and between commissions and create, trying to do new construction, create more inventory, some to sell off to be able to buy more, and then some to continue to hold just as long-term legacy rentals. And just planning to just keep growing and just build legacy and build wealth for future generations. So that's really where the focus is moving forward.
Love it. How about you, Robin? Are you looking at growing a team? What's your thoughts?
No, I don't want a team. No, I call my downline my dream team, and I truly don't want a team in the traditional form. I love having a downline for various reasons, and I want to grow that downline as big as it'll grow. And the point of that is not monetary. The point of that is the help vision. So I did an exercise one time where you looked out over a valley and you were standing with a person, and what did the person say to you? And the person said to me, and they waved their arms out to the left and the right, and the person said to me, "Look at all the people you've helped." And that vision, that's what drives me, other than my why. But I love the concept of helping people, whether it's buyers or sellers or investors or people on my downline. Or our purpose when we have flipped homes has not been to make the biggest profit that we can. It's been to make it nice, affordable housing for people in the community. So almost a reverse gentrification. We don't want to move the people out. We want to just make their homes livable and then keep them at an affordable price where they could buy them and stay. So yeah, so I guess my goal is to help just as many people as I can in 2021 in whatever way God chooses to use me.
I think that's awesome. you know, the future of real estate, you touched on a little bit, Trent, is, you know, being disrupted, and there's all kinds of things coming at us at all times. And I'm thankful that we, as a company, EXP, you know, we're big and strong, and we're going to continue to grow and be able to fight off those disruptors. But for other people that are paying attention to this, and we'll see this later, when you talk about disruption, what is one way that you're protecting yourself, your business, Trent, that you believe it's protecting you from that kind of disruption that's headed our way?
For me, it's just, especially in my market, because I have a lot of listings out there right now. I'm seeing a lot of offers that come in and how aggressive they are. And I'm seeing the new investors that are coming into the market. So for me, it's just focusing more on investors, like being able to give investors more information, more data, so they can make quicker decisions remotely, and they can make quick decisions to put in strong offers. And a lot of them are coming in with cash. So it's just kind of understanding who these buyers are and how can I better cater to them, and how can I kind of be one of them too. So that is kind of where I'm seeing things headed. It's a flood of investor buyers, and they're just wiping out all the finance, you know, all the buyers that have financing. So me seeing that too is also looking at the other programs that are out there that help people buy homes, like Home Partners of America, that you know, they're kind of lease purchase programs. But still, it's a route to say, you know, these companies are popping up where they're saying, we'll come in, we'll pay cash, we'll do a quick close, so it can be competitive. You can be competitive with these other investor offers are coming in. And then someone that really needs a home to live in, you know, they can come in through, like, you know, kind of a side door to be able to purchase a home and not have to compete with the other cash offers when they have like FHA financing or you know, just regular conventional financing, which is good, but it's not as good as little to no. I mean, I've had offers where it's like no due diligence, all cash, you know, above ask, and it's like we're getting flooded with these kind of offers, and they're from different types of you know, investor buyers. So it's really just seeing what's coming in and trying to adapt to that. So that's what I would say, is trying to, you know what the investor market is looking like and being able to cater to them more.
Love that. So we know, Jenny, that your goal is to get retired in the next 5 years, and I absolutely love that. So I'll just go with this last question to Robin, and then we're going to close out, you guys. Robin, speaking of disruption and what's headed our way, what is something that you're doing, or some things that you're doing to protect your business from being disrupted?
I'm actually just staying the course and hoping to change the narrative, like I spoke about earlier. I think if we just keep building relationships and keep showing our value, that we're going to be fine. And maybe I'm naive, but I don't like to think that I am. I like to think that people value people. So I'm just encouraging people to go out and continue that. Like go to the ball field and go to church if you go to church, or at least do it virtually. You can still connect with people virtually, like we're doing right here. So yeah, just protecting my business by bringing value and being and showing other people that they are valued.
Love that. Hey, all you agents out in the auditorium and everybody that's watching online, you have been given like tons and tons of information. These people are making a difference. They're changing lives. We here at EXP believe in the company, believe in collaboration, and believe that we all should live an abundant life. So know that real estate is ever changing, and that plug into people that know what they're doing, plug into people that can help you. Don't be afraid to ask for help. We're better together. We're stronger. There's strength in numbers. So make sure you tune in to Robin, Jenny, Marty, Trent. Thank you guys for being on the panel, and you guys have a fantastic day and a great weekend.
Great job, Tricia, moderating.
Thank you
so much.
Yes.
An amazing job. Thanks.
A lot of fun.
Thanks, you guys. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Awesome.